Da 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 da. It's two brothers. Da 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 da. Just two brothers. Da 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 da. It's two brothers. Da 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 da. It's just two brothers. We're two brothers.
We're not actually brothers. We're not. Good evening.
Good evening, guys. Welcome to Two Brothers. My name's Connor.
And my name's Yusuf.
And we're going to be talking about this right here in front of us. Football.
This big round ball.
Soccer. Football.
Football.
We're going to be discussing all things that happened in the Premier League this weekend.
Little weekly roundup to start off the...
the Monday. Drown the Monday blues.
Yep.
We were listening to our awfully non-scripted podcast. But yeah, here we go. Start something new.
Take one.
New energy.
Let's go. New chapter, mate.
New chapter.
And let's kick it off with Arsenal versus Liverpool.
Do we have to?
Game of the week. Maybe game of the season. Let's be real.
It's a big statement.
It's a good game. A bloody good game.
I did enjoy it, I have to say. There's some good football both sides. But obviously, this is your time to do your gloating.
Oh, I won't go too bad, but what can I say, really? Started off brilliantly, and today was the first big test for Arsenal. I know we played Tottenham last week, but that's normally been a given. That will beat them at the Emirates, and they beat us at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
But today was the first game this season. I was really nervous.
What colour's North London?
Come on. What are you saying? Well,
the key word there.
It's not pink.
The key word there is North London. You know, that's a different story. We're talking about London in total. But no, listen. Arsenal started well. I was impressed with the early start. You lot have been doing that to all teams this season that I've watched you play. Martinelli, what was it? Minute 1.
58 seconds.
58 seconds.
Pretty mad.
I mean, to do that to Liverpool usually start fast, right?
I think, this season they haven't. They've literally conceded the first goal in most of their games. So that was probably an area we looked at to try and capitalise on the fast start, which we managed to do. So that was great. I did feel our first half performance overall was probably the worst of our whole season.
Wow, okay.
I think maybe we were battling with our own inferiority complex. Not winning against the likes of Liverpool and Man City for so long. But, the counter-attacking goal at the end of the first half
it's impressive.
was so needed, especially that Liverpool were on top for the majority of that half. Coming into the second half, Mikel Arteta would have given them a massive bollocking at half-time because that wasn't the way we've seen Arsenal play.
You think, even at 2-1 up?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, wow.
The way we started off that second half and maintained it compared to the first half was looked like two different teams. Yeah. And I think we went out and we did what we've been doing this season and dominating them, getting into their boxes, getting into their faces and just pressuring them from all angles, and in the end they couldn't cope with it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't seen Liverpool ripped apart like that for a long time. Probably not even since Klopp's been there. I mean, I know they got ripped apart by Napoli, was it a month or so ago? I think it was 4-1. But to get out, I think, do you know what it was for me? They were good in the first half. They were. Both sides did their thing. Liverpool probably slightly edged it. I know Arsenal got the breakaway.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But the second half, watching Arsenal was like watching City. And that's what scares me, because the same setup, the way you pressured them, they couldn't even get out of their box. And credit to Arsenal, Salah got taken off. They switched to almost like a flat 4-4-2.
Hendo at right wing. Yeah. Weird. They went very defensive, didn't they? Bringing on Fabinho.
They panicked.
Bringing on Konate.
They panicked.
Henderson right wing. That whole right side, Trent and Salah, they couldn't cope with Martinelli. And Tomiyasu did a great job as well to keep him out.
Unbelievable.
What was most compelling to me, looking at the stats after that game, Liverpool conceded 46 touches in their own penalty box to Arsenal.
Wow.
Only one time under Jurgen Klopp in his 7 years have they only conceded more touches in their own opposition box.
Can anyone, just a quick one to interject, can anyone who's watching this guess what game that was? And who was it?
It was actually Wolves.
Wolves?
No, Man City, 2019.
He's done me there.
So.
I did actually.
Yeah.
I thought it generally was then. That's funny.
No, but
of course it was City.
I mean, for me, that's a testament, a testament for us to be able to, well, play with no caution.
Yep.
Just absolutely courageous the way we went at them.
I agree.
We're a young team, but at the same time, we're playing with a lot of maturity. This season, especially, the way we're going into games, our in-game management has been very, very good.
It's been
we
very
know when
impressive.
to calm the ball down, control the game. Even against Liverpool in the first half, we didn't hold possession, but we ended up countering them and working very effectively with that, which shows we can actually be tactically flexible within the game. So first half, sitting deep, stopping their attack and countering. Second half, imposing ourselves onto them and dominating, getting into their box.
It's a new Arsenal, isn't it? It's one we're not used to seeing for, well, you know, when we can remember, really, growing up watching Arsenal. No. You know, Arsenal are, I hate to say it, but destroying teams. Everyone they come up against, they seem to be just playing them out of the park. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen when you play City, because I feel like that will be defining. But that actually brings us on to our most important question of the day, in my opinion. Are Arsenal title challengers? Now, I want you to come at this with an unbiased opinion. I know you obviously they're your team, but I want you to add a sense of realism here as well. What do you honestly think?
Harry, our cameraman, nodding his head. Yeah, big Arsenal fan. But look, this season so far, myself and I'm sure many Arsenal fans have been very cautious with this title challenger conception. We've been here so many times where we go on a good run and then we know it's going to fall apart at some point. And I feel like everyone around us, all the rival fans, are waiting for us to jump on that bandwagon, pick ourselves up. And as soon as shit hits the fan, they're all coming for us, and you know, we're the banter club again. I do feel like this season is genuinely different, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the level that we are playing at is something that I can't ignore. Maybe in previous seasons, like last season, we had glimpses of what we could do, but we never dominated games like we have now. And I think our quality has improved. Gabriel Jesus coming in, Zinchenko coming in, proven winners, adds to our attack. Remember last season, we were relying on a washed-up Lacazette and a younger Nketiah to draw us over the line. Had a lot of frailties in that team, but for me, Saliba's the big one. I think defence titles are one, and defence is foremost. And I think Arsenal
what
with
was that
Saliba.
Alex Ferguson quote? Didn't he say defence? Was it something about defence?
Yeah,
defence winning you titles or something?
So like you can win games with attack.
But no, that's it. You can win games with attacks, but you win titles with defence.
Yeah,
that was it.
And Saliba's just—he's a game changer for me. Yeah. By far, our biggest signing of the summer. Yeah. I know we've had him for a while, but actually playing now. Look, again, it's too early to say whether we're title challenge. Well, we're going to win the title. I don't think we will. Ultimately, City are far too strong. With Haaland, they look like a machine. But I do think we'll give it a good go. Okay. And that's what I can say.
You've kept quite coy there. I think that's sensible.
We're going to win the league! No, we're not. Cut it out.
No, do you know what? Honestly, I find it interesting to honestly think, like, you know, gauge whether people honestly think Arsenal will win the league, because City are so good and they're a bit of an anomaly, really, with how good they are. Obviously, Haaland scoring 2-3 goals a game, it's just ridiculous. They've added a centre forward, which they were missing, but not really missing, because they were still winning leagues. And
didn't know what they.
They've evolved again, haven't they? But it's like Pep just, you know, constantly. You know, he's like he rotates it all the time, changes it up, freshens it up. This time they've got a big centre forward in, different way of playing, no false nine. They've gone direct, and it's just working again for them. Although I do think the reason why I think you won't win the league is because he's got so much experience with winning the league. So as good as Arsenal are, and I think they're brilliant, I really do. Like, I like watching them. I've watched, well, obviously with you, most of their games this season, to be fair. And I genuinely actually enjoy watching them too. I hate to say that as a Chelsea fan, but I do, because they're very entertaining to watch. But I think for long term, I don't think they'll win it this season, because the project is too soon.
Yeah, we're not finished by any means.
To go from 8th to fifth to second, well, if you do finish second this season, would be like.
Well, it's a consistent.
I think if Arteta gets you second, for me, like he's manager of the season, considering with the resources and everything that he's had and the project he's done.
If you ask any Arsenal fan beginning of the season, what's the ambition? Everyone would tell you top 4.
Yeah.
Like no one in their right mind saying second. Maybe a few people would say top 3, which at the time you'd say very optimistic. But yeah, I think the thing we have, as I can see in our team now, we play with a lot more courage. We don't have that fear that we had coming into big games before. And I think that's a big game changer. Having the likes of what I said, the match winners, the title winners that we brought into our squad with Jesus and Zinchenko, but also another year older, another year wiser for all these players. They're still playing the same way. A lot of people think that Arteta's drastically changed it overnight, but if you're an Arsenal fan, you'll know that we've seen these glimpses and it's gradually been coming. It's been coming, but yeah, I think it's been a dream so far this season. All I can hope for is match City's results by the time we get to the World Cup, and for the new year, if we're still up there, first, second, whatever, then we can have a real good go at it and put everything into it.
So we're not going to say challenges just yet.
I think challenges. I think the Liverpool game. It was
a big result. That was a big result.
That was the big hoodoo. That was the big hoodoo that we really couldn't get over that hurdle for a long, long time. I think that win was a lot bigger than the North London derby.
So you are challenges. You can put. Listen, lay it on the line, man. This is the space to do it.
Everyone, we are title challengers.
There we go.
Let's go.
Except from the man himself, Arsenal title challengers.
Don't quote me on it. If by December we're like back to 4,
no, I think you could be onto something.
We'll see. It's very early.
Okay, so moving on to the other side of the fence, let's talk about Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's been the worst start Klopp's had out of all of his seasons in charge. Liverpool currently sitting in 10th, I believe.
Yeah.
10th place. Bournemouth, actually, bizarrely, are above them after they hammered Bournemouth 9-0 back in August.
That's crazy.
It's quite hard to pinpoint where it's going wrong. I know they've had injuries. I know a lot of people have worked out their high line that they've used, and that's been so effective in the sort of gegenpress way that Klopp plays. But are Liverpool falling apart? Is it too early to say that? What do you think?
Liverpool's a really weird one. And I have no doubt in their quality at all. Mm-hmm. I think personally, they're still one of the best teams. On paper, when they're playing well and they've got a fully fit squad, they will give anyone a tough game. For me, the main difference, I'll touch up on earlier what you said about Guardiola with City, and this is where I think Liverpool have gone wrong, is where you said that Guardiola, he's been winning titles consistently with City over the past 4 or 5 years. And every time after a couple of years, he's changed it up. Mm-hmm. Look at this summer, prime example. Everyone thought you're stupid to get rid of Sterling, Jesus,
and Zinchenko,
Fernandinho, Zinchenko.
All winners, all title winners.
Yeah, they did absolutely nothing wrong. Always contributing. Great squad depth to have. Mm-hmm. But you have to change it to stay at the top level for so long consistently. You need to change it up. In Ferguson, how he maintained it for so long, that team that he started winning titles with, till his reign where he ended winning a title, there was 3 or 4 different squads that he built entirely within that. Mm-hmm. And for me, where Liverpool have gone wrong, I think Klopp's been too stubborn with changing it. A bit like Wenger in the old days.
Yeah,
where
there's some similarities there for sure.
Stick to that squad and not change anything up. He's had the opportunity to buy in players.
Is that Klopp's fault though? Is it the boards? Because I know they get financially backed, but not as much as the other top sides.
No, but I still think if Klopp really wanted to go for a player,
they'd back him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're big money on. I mean, Darwin Núñez, that's another one. To be honest with you, like Darwin Núñez, I thought he looked good yesterday. Like that's the best I've ever seen him. That'll be forgotten because of the result, but I actually thought he had a good game. His link-up play was good. I think as a centre-forward, he's probably been one of the centre forwards to actually probably test your back line the most this season.
His movement is elite.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. He just needs to work on his finishing.
I think there's a few things that's happened with Liverpool this season, and I was like breaking it down in my head earlier, like where I think maybe it's gone wrong. And we said in the summer, when Mane left, that would be a massive hole. And the reason why Mane going is such a problem is because not just his goals, his assists, but ultimately it's his work rate. The amount he would press, the amount of like off the ball work he did as well, like massively important team player to have. He wouldn't always contribute, but it was the stuff you wouldn't see him doing. If you pay attention to football and watch Mane, I'm sure he covered the most ground always with sprints and stuff, and a very active player. The same for his country, and the same he's doing at Bayern Munich now.
Look, even if he wasn't scoring and assisting every game, he'd still create space, get into areas of danger.
Absolutely. His
movement would allow space for Salah and Firmino or Jota to get into that position. He would take players away from him and give that space to Salah or Jota to score. So his overall play has been a big miss. I know Diaz, he's got potential.
But this is what I was going to say. I think they miss him. Diaz is a good player. Don't get me wrong, I do like Diaz, but he isn't the kind of same profile in terms of the work rate, what he does off the ball. Yeah. Very nice on the ball, but maybe not as clinical as well as Mane was in the sort of final third. I think that's been an issue, definitely. I also think Mane going has taken away the sort of, and it's going to sound strange, but the battle that they had internally, Salah and Mane, because they were both obviously on both sides, but they also used to compete a lot with each other in terms of who'd get the goals, who'd get the assist. You used to see it. They rolled over.
A few little bust-outs.
Yeah, they rolled before. You know, there definitely was that sort of energy of they'd push each other, and I feel like Salah's performances has gone like that as well. They've obviously had to accommodate a centre forwards when they've had Bobby Firmino there for a long time, who he's not really a 9. He can be. It's a bit of a strange sort of profile he is. But yeah, it's formation change as well to accommodate that striker.
I think there's been a tactical change which has really hurt Klopp, and I think he's moved Salah out wide more to the right, touching the sideline, and he's inverted Trent to create deliveries in those half spaces. So I do think that's also hurt them, because you're taking Salah's quality, who likes to cut in and get inside the field. You're kind of taking that out to accommodate Trent, where if you're further up the field, you'd want Salah in that box. Yeah, that's where you want him, not by the byline.
I agree, definitely. I mean, that actually comes to our next question I was going to ask you today. It's a big one, and I try not to say it with a smile on my face, because Reece James is my boy, and for me, best right back in the world. But is Trent, although he's a very good player, is he going to make the World Cup?
Yeah, I have no doubts if he's fit that he'll make.
Kyle Walker's injured as well, by the way, so
he'll definitely make the World Cup.
But you have got Kieran Trippier. He's a brilliant player
who can play left back. To be fair, I think Southgate has.
Some United fans watching this might be screaming, saying Wan-Bissaka as well.
Ben White.
Ben White's another one. Yeah, Ben White's been brilliant at right back.
Does, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, Gareth says no, it's Ben White. I don't know why.
But look, on the ball, Trent is undoubtedly one of the best players in the world on the ball. When you're talking about
from a creative
those De Bruyne-esque deliveries, it's just unbelievable. But I think there's been too many times this season where he's been caught defensively lacking. And I've stuck up for Trent for the longest time. You know that.
Too long.
Always said him over James, but I can't back that anymore.
You changed your tune now because you've seen the light.
I have.
I took him to Stamford Bridge once. He saw Reece James, and that's it.
No, not that. Trent, man.
Listen, Reece James is a good-looking guy as well. He's got that sauce. He's got it all. What's he not got? Like, he looks great. He's physical. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's not got that starting right back spot nailed down, no, has he?
I think he will. I hate to say it, I think he will.
Well, we will see, won't we?
Yeah.
We will see.
But Southgate likes him as well.
Yeah, I know. But he loves Trent, so... Anyway...
You say that, but actually Reece James has more England caps than Trent. Believe it or not.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you pulled that out your ass, but
it's actually
someone's
true.
Someone's got to run that.
No,
someone's
check it.
got to run that figure, because...
If I'm wrong, shoot me.
I can't believe that, Harry.
Our cameraman's going to check that now. If it's wrong, that's going to be cut anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Nah.
Anyway, moving on. So we need to cover a lot of ground here, so we've got the rest of the results.
But let me just sum it up by saying Trent is in a bad way at the moment. He'll still make the World Cup, but he needs a time on the sidelines to get his... He just needs a rest.
He needs the arm around the shoulder.
Just have a little sleep it off. Rest that head of yours. You'll be all right.
Okay. Next game, another big result. Man City 4, Southampton 0. Haaland had a bit of a goal drought for, what was it, 70, 80 minutes?
50, 60 minutes, something like that.
Or was it less than that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, just to interrupt. As I can see here,
Yeah.
it's saying Trent has 17 and James has 15.
Oh, mate. Yeah, we're definitely not going to put that in.
Oh, sorry. No cuts allowed.
Anyway, yeah, just wanted to recap that. So, Reece James has less caps than Trent, which actually proves how much better he is. Because the fact that he's now starting, you know, Trent is a bit of an old head there now. But, you know, they've seen the light with Reece James. So
yeah, well, moving on. City 4, Southampton 0.
Southampton 0. Yeah, it was a battering. I feel like City didn't really get out of first gear, did they? Let's be honest.
Nah, they're just doing what they do.
Yeah.
Just a machine, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. They've literally got the Terminator up front.
Yep. And you've got De Bruyne, Bernardo, Foden.
Yep.
Behind. Mahrez on the wings.
They're going to win it, aren't
Cancelo. No one speaks about him. Start speaking about Cancelo.
We do speak
I promise you.
We speak about Cancelo.
This guy, he's the best fullback in world football.
Okay.
That's not even a big statement to me.
I mean, that's a huge statement.
He's by far the best fullback in world football.
He's in the best team in the world.
Have you not seen the stuff that he does?
Of course I've seen what he does.
That Trivela cross on the volley tomorrow.
Does he finish like Reece James in the box?
Yeah.
I don't think he does, man.
He could if he wanted to. But
well, why doesn't he?
He
lets the others do
the
lets the others do the dirty work.
Reece James has to do it.
That's true.
He has to do it.
We'll come to that anyway. But yeah, it was an easy game for City. They battered Southampton like we all thought they would. It was a matter of how many, not it was inevitable. Like you say, Haaland again scored another goal. What's he on now for the season? I think 20 in all comps. I saw Fabrizio tweet the other day. And we're like, what?
October.
Not even like barely at middle of October. It's ridiculous. I think the question I want to ask everyone, or want everyone to sort of comment on this video, if you're interested, how many will Haaland score this season?
Will he break the record, the Premier League record? Was it 32, 33 from Salah?
Was it 33 or 34? I can't remember. We
34, something like that.
It's around that number. But anyway, what I want to know, and we're going to remember this. How many does Haaland score? What does he finish? What's the number? I want to know just in the league.
In the league?
In the league.
35.
By one?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, he can't surely keep it up for the whole season.
I think he gets 40. Genuinely. Or plus.
I mean, that's scary levels.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a player that I know we've had like the centre forwards and strikers in the Premier League that have been unbelievable. Omri, Shearer, Suarez,
Rooney, Aguero,
Drogba, all of different kind of stature and different ability, but all just like equally or if not more or less just incredible. And it feels like the level had gone down for a while. I don't know if you agree. But from those days where, as kids, you'd want to be Omri, wouldn't you? In the playground, you'd want to be, well, maybe you didn't want to be Drogba, but he was for me, he was just unbelievable. But I feel like we had a bit of a window where we didn't really have that nine. We had like forwards getting the golden boots, with Son won it
the
last
inside
year.
Forwards, Son, Salah.
Mane's done it. Aubameyang, obviously, he's not like I know Aubameyang won one, didn't he? Did he win two? He drew one and won one.
Drew one. Did he? Yeah, something like that.
But he, again, even Aubameyang, okay, yes, he's a striker, but he didn't have that,
I mean, he weren't hitting 30.
No, that's what I mean. He didn't have that,
for a long time,
numbers.
the golden boot. Who, apart from... Yeah, even Kane, It's only been Kane.
Listen, Kane's great. Let's not put slander on him because he's our only chance of winning something this winter in the World Cup. But, I feel like it's nice to see a striker where... you're seeing fear again in other teams. I see the teams line up in the tunnel and they're looking at Haaland and it's that same look people used to give Omri. you know that like, okay,
he's so inevitable.
How many is he going to
score? He's so inevitable. The thing is, Haaland, he's done exactly what's best for his career. He's gone to the team where he's going to maximise his efficiency.
Yep.
He's going to get
the most chances.
He doesn't need to drop back and get involved in the link-up play because they've got all these world-class players behind him to do that.
Kane has to. Kane
That's the difference.
physically has to.
Kane desperately wanted to go that summer when
Yeah.
City bid 150 mil for him.
He packed his bags. He was gone.
If Spurs accepted and he was at City, he'd probably be near the Haaland's level at the moment.
Yeah,
Because all you have to do, you just sit in that 6-yard box, wait for De Bruyne to whip one 40 yards over to you, and you have a tap in.
It's true. I mean, that brings us to like the next, I suppose, topic. What I was going to ask you. Another player massively informed for City. Got a hat-trick last week. Another goal yesterday. Phil Foden.
What a nifty little player he's
What a player
turning
he is.
into.
I want to know, does he start in the World Cup?
On current form, he has to.
But does he fit our system? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if everyone agrees, but every time I've seen him for England, he's not cut it. And I'd say Saka has to play in that position.
No. The problem is, what everyone wants to see at the World Cup in terms of formation, tactics, versus what we know Gareth Southgate is going to choose, they're two different
stories.
So if I'm going from what I want to see, obviously you have like your Saka's in there, Harry Kane up front, you put Reece James in a right back at this moment in time, going off form, Declan Rice, CDM. Foden has to be one of them. Foden and Bellingham for me are the two players that are in front of Rice as a lone number 6.
You think Bellingham's in front of Rice?
No, I mean...
Oh, he's sitting in front of Rice.
Rice at the 6,
okay.
Bellingham and Foden sitting in front of him as number 8s, and like they can both...
So you'd go Rice, Bellingham, Foden as the 8s,
Yeah.
and then Saka, Kane, Sterling?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
What about you? What are you going for?
See, like you say, it's that question of what do we want?
I mean, it's not going to happen, is it?
My England lineup would look very different to how his is going to look in that opening game against Iran. We could be on this for ages, but just to read it off quickly, you know, I'll be real. I'll go Aaron Ramsdale because he's the best of his feet. I'd probably go Ben Chilwell left back. I'd go Tomori centre back, probably with John Stones. And then you're looking at Reece James right back, but there's an argument for Ben White as well. Of course there is, of how good he's been. The only reason I would say Tomori slightly more, I feel like a little bit more kind of cultured in that role of playing as just a straight kind of centre back. Yeah. Ben White's
been playing brilliantly at right back.
Ben White's a brilliant player, and he could definitely do the job because of how good he is for Arsenal. But again, I just don't think he's a player for whatever reason Southgate doesn't see in the system.
And he's going in the back 3 as well, which he'd suit probably even more.
But I wouldn't go with the back 3. I'd almost go with the formation like Arsenal and City are doing with that lone 6, because that's just what is working in football.
We've got the players to do it.
We've got the players to do it.
We really have. Just look at him.
Gareth, if you watch this, give it a try. Rice at the 6, I'd agree. I would go Bellingham as well.
No Henderson?
No Henderson, no chance. We await the trial. See?
Yeah.
But no, definitely Rice at the 6. You got to go Jude Bellingham 100% based on form. I mean, listen, he gets a lot of slander. He's a bit overhated in my opinion, but I'm going to say Mason Mount for his work rate, how industrious he is as well. I think he'd be brilliant in that position as an 8 for England too. I know he gets sort of drafted around there, or like the left kind of wing side of position as well, but I'd go Mount, Bellingham, Rice. I think that's a very strong midfield. And then my front 3 is Sterling, Kane and Saka.
Little Chelsea players in there.
Well,
Guess who's the Chelsea fan?
You got to go with what's going to win you.
Well, I'd start Ramsdale in goal. Zinchenko left back. It's Gabriel and Saliba.
We're still for England there.
Yeah, we are. We'd win it.
You'd win the World Cup with Arsenal's starting 11. It's a huge claim. Anyway, moving on. Chelsea 3, Wolves 0.
Yep.
Up the Chelsea.
Great result for you boys.
Are we back? Potterball in full flow now. We've had 3. Well, in my opinion, we've had 2 good games since he's been there. Like the Palace one was still a bit.
Yeah.
Was a bit
quite lucky with that. With
obviously, it was
Thiago Silva.
AC Milan. I know they had an injured side, but I thought the performance was good. Like the football was nice, and then the Wolves game. What I was impressed with actually the most is how much he changed it up. Started 7 players that didn't start in that Milan game. So rotated it. I panicked because he dropped Reece James. Aspilicueta came in. Some big changes were made.
Dropped Aubameyang.
Yeah. Havertz was played in the 9. And
did Kovacic start?
Kovacic.
I think he did. I think he was benched as well.
He came on. It was Jorginho and Loftus that started. Loftus-Cheek, brilliant. He's been probably one of our best players this season. Yeah. I mean, I could go on all day. What did you think? Who impressed you, and what was your opinions?
Well, Mount finally got off the mark.
Yep.
This industrious play.
Mason Mount.
Yep, it came off. So yeah, it's good. We need these players to pick up form before the World Cup. But I liked Pulisic actually played really well.
Yeah.
Puli boy.
Holy friggin' Smithers!
Finally did it. Someone told him it's the playoffs because he just went out there and he got them goals.
Tell that guy it's the playoffs and he's slamming in goals left, right and centre. Slamming in field goals.
Really nice finish. Yeah. And Broja as well, getting his first goal.
Yeah.
I think he's a decent player. I think if you give him enough play time, I think in a year or so, if you really stick out with him, he could potentially be knocking on the door at some point. I think there's good potential in that kid.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of love for Broja. I think he's a player. I think he's a real player.
I was going to ask you, what have you seen tactically different under Graham Potter so far?
A good question. I think reading between the lines. So we actually against Wolves went with like a hybrid 4-2-3-1, which he likes to do at Brighton. So it's very interchangeable. So when you're actually out of possession, that then changes to like almost like a 3-5-2. It stretches the game as well. So like breaking between the lines with your fullbacks are still involved, but also you're playing very tight as well as a back four, so you don't let a lot go through in terms of counters it as well. Clearly, tactically, he's a very intelligent man because he's come in and the first thing he's done is solidify us. So in terms of chances actually being created, I'm noticing there's a lot less that's actually being created against us. I think his first decision he made, which was the sensible one, was actually putting Kepa back as the number 1.
Surprising one, that.
It's a big call. I've been his biggest critic in the past, but I think because the way football's evolving, I don't think you have to be the best shot stopper to actually be number 1. I think it really ultimately is, can you play out from the back and can you play with your feet? Kepa can, so I get why he's done that. And the games, you've watched with me, you'd agree that Kepa's actually been pretty influential to the play of how we've kind of moved up the pitch. I also think as well, playing players in their right position. Pulisic not being played at left wing back, actually being played as a left winger. It's a start. Play these players in the right position. We kept saying under Tuchel it was square pegs in round holes. You got Conor Gallagher, but he's playing him as a 6. You're not going to get the results you want out of him playing there. Mason Mount, Tuchel didn't really know his right position. It seems like I like Potter because he's almost very like human. He's like your mate. When he interviews, he just refers to them as people that that I feel like he's very in touch with his kind of emotions as well. And as a manager, that's important.
Right.
I think one of the things he would have said when he's gone in is, "Look, guys, where do you want to play?" I know it's a simple thing.
Well, someone needs to tell him where Havertz plays because I still don't know where that brother plays.
Yeah, true.
Is he a 9? No. Is he a 10?
Is he an 8? Is he a false 9?
What is he?
Listen, he's versatile.
I've never wrapped my head around
him.
He's
very versatile. He's in Germany. He almost plays off the striker for the national team, and that he looks really good there. But
second striker. He done bits with Germany.
It's a tough one with Havertz. We could talk about that all night, to be honest. I'm interested. What do you guys think?
I think you're a really weird team. Obviously, I watched them a lot with you, and I still can't fully work them out because things have chopped and changed so much.
Yeah, there's been a lot of change.
And under Tuchel, he did tinker a lot with the formations and the positions of players as well. I think now it's about Potter giving him a free season to just work on how he wants his playing style and imposing it on the players.
Yeah.
And trying to get the best out of these players. You've got a lot of potential in that squad. You've got some great players. You just have to utilise it
the right way.
They just haven't been coaxed into getting the best out of them by previous managers. And I feel like Potter, if anyone could do it, it's probably him.
Yeah. You have to remember, a lot of that squad won the Champions League, so let's just see.
But at the same time, I feel like you could do with a bit of a shake-up and getting rid of a lot of players.
It's got style.
I feel like this should be kind of a new start Chelsea.
I'd agree. It's got very stale at Chelsea.
It's a weird one. Let us know.
What do you think? Are Chelsea going to make top 4? It's a big question.
It's so uncertain.
No.
And there you have it.
This guy, doesn't get on camera, just does the dirty work and comes in with stuff like that.
Look, Chelsea are probably, for me, the most unpredictable team.
Yeah.
They could finish 3rd, 4th, 5th, and whatever happens, I wouldn't be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just about consistency, getting your identity back, and like I said, imposing that style of play. Work for it this season, just see where you finish.
Yeah.
I think players like Koulibaly you brought in,
fair to say, a bit of a
will
free
be out the door soon.
Fair to say, is it a free hit for Potter this season?
Yeah, 100%. Look, if you don't start keeping faith in your managers and having an actual long-term project, believe me, take it from me, we've been through it all, haven't we? We've absolutely seen the worst of it. But over time, gradually, you will start to see the fruits of it. Because Potter, I think, is one of them managers.
He's one for the future, isn't he? For sure.
He can really, really do something, as much as I hate to say it.
So, flipping the coin, on the other side, we got Wolves. Obviously, just sacked their manager, Bruno Lage. Looks like they're speaking to that Lopetegui.
Yeah, that's it. Just been sacked from Seville.
Yeah, that looks like an obvious one that's probably going to happen. What do we think for Wolves? Are they in a relegation battle? Where do they finish?
Yeah, it's a really tough one for them. I think they've got the quality to not get relegated. Obviously, on paper, it's clear to see they should not be in a relegation battle. For them, they're just stuck in a rut. I think they had a couple of seasons ago, they were pushing for that top 6 and getting into Europe. They did actually make the Europa League at one point, didn't they? And then ever since then, it's been a gradual decline, hasn't it? Where it's just ended up being a mid-table team, slowly, gradually, just getting more stale. And
well, they played their best football, didn't they, under Nuno? Yeah. Since he's gone, it's gone like that. Yeah. I mean, it was slowly on a decline for a while.
Yeah, I think with Wolves, it's probably the most important thing would be to getting the manager right. You need the right manager in there to freshen things up again and get the spirits back. But it's going to be a tough one. So
where do Wolves finish then? Are they going to be struggling at the bottom, do you think, or are they going to be?
I think they'll
safe?
end up around 15th,
okay,
14th. I don't think they'll get relegated. They're too good not.
Yeah,
they're too good
think
to be
so.
Relegated.
They've got quality players still. That's the thing.
I don't see them having just a massive turnaround anytime soon. So they'll have an Everton season, I think, from last year.
It always comes back to Everton.
Always.
Moving on to Everton. Everton versus Man United. Everton 1, Man United 2. They had conceded the least amount of goals in the league up until match day 8 for them.
8, 9.
They've got a game in hand.
Yeah. Wow. First of all, I want to say Alex Iwobi, my guy.
Good player.
Great goal.
It's been good this season.
He has. I'm glad he's finally found his
found his
home.
Yeah. Everton are a
Fair
weird
play to
one,
Lampard
I'll be
for
honest. Because we watched the game yesterday and I'll be honest, the quality I thought was pretty rubbish for both sides. It was fairly routine for United, but Everton could have equalised.
That spell right at the end. We were just knocking on the door with these corners. Pickford almost knocking one in.
It's a weird one. It was just a bit of a scrappy game, wasn't it, yesterday?
Forgettable one.
Yeah, for sure.
I've already forgotten about it. Should we move on?
Unfortunately not. We've got a couple of questions I want to cover, just because some important stuff in there. Important one I want to know. So Ten Hag, obviously, first couple of games, back-to-back defeats, Brighton and Brentford. Naturally, people start panicking and, Twitter, he got annihilated. But I will say United from the last 18 points have picked up 15 and they have played Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City in that time. 3 massive teams they've played and they have only team to beat you guys this season, believe it or not. They've had some suspect performances in Europe.
Yeah.
But actually they are starting to win games.
Yeah.
Where do we think United finish and Ten Hag, what does that look like?
Well, again, United have always reminded me of us from 3 years ago.
Okay.
So where we just started their project. It's going to take a lot of time. And again, I don't expect anything from them this season because Ten Hag hasn't got the players yet to really impose his style of play. Once he gets rid of all that deadwood, because believe me, there's still a lot of deadwood that need to leave United. Once they can start clearing them out and bringing in the players that he needs, then we'll be able to judge him properly. But for now, the most important thing for United is just picking up the points. I think for them, it doesn't really matter how they're playing. If they're beating Arsenal and Liverpool by sitting back and hitting them on the break, then by all means do it, because you don't want to expose yourself and get absolutely hammered like you did to City. Yeah. So for me right now, it's just about getting the best out of those players. I think Rashford's had a good upturn of form.
Yeah.
Martial started to look like
Please can we not take him to the World Cup though? Because I've got to be honest, Marcus Rashford for me is England time. No, that's.
But he loves playing against you lot. He loves playing against Chelsea.
He does. That's
your boy.
Yeah, don't know about that, but Ronaldo scored, which was interesting. So Ronaldo 700 career club goals. Yeah, which is crazy stats.
No matter how bad he's doing, or he's falling out and all this and that, he will still be always one of the GOATs.
He is our GOAT, right? We both agree on that. Are you Messi? We're not going to talk. We're not going to go.
I'm talking about Everton United here. That's probably
we're not going to go there because that's a big question. But we know it's Ronaldo, innit?
Well, we'll let you decide. But I'm not getting into that now. That'll be a whole debate on itself.
What I want to know, I wanted to ask you today, is Ronaldo finished? Do you think he has still got stuff in the tank?
Yes.
Do you think he...
Yeah. He's too good to not have anything left in the tank.
Okay.
For me, he just needs to go to a club that will suit his style. Basically, he just needs to be a poacher like City have.
Could it be?
And he somewhere that doesn't care about pressing or as long as you have a creative team that can get balls into him and he's there to finish them. That is literally all.
It's funny because City wanted him last year, didn't they?
And it's funny because Chelsea could also do with a player of that calibre.
Well, we've got Aubameyang. Obama what?
Obama who?
Obama Blanca.
Yeah.
Well, Aubameyang 2 goals, 4 games. I'm not gonna write him off just yet. Yeah. He's doing all right.
But again, you can't write off Ronaldo. We'll see. The World Cup's coming up very soon. He knows it's the last World Cup.
He does.
And he's going to want to leave an imprint for his status and his final moments of his career. He wants to go out with a bang. So I think I'll back him to not be terrible. But who knows?
It's a big statement.
Who knows? Yeah.
One player I want to talk about, who's a bit of an anomaly at the moment, is Jadon Sancho. Does he have a future at Man United? Brought in Anthony. Yeah. Anthony scored again yesterday, 3 goals.
Anthony, unfortunately, he looks like a baller now.
He does, looks like a real player.
Have you seen Anthony? What he's been doing?
Yeah, he's been doing some mad stuff. All his goals are really well taken. Silky player.
Yeah.
Does Jadon Sancho have a future at Man United?
No. Well, as a backup, yeah. But will he want to be a backup?
If he was going to leave, where does he go? Don't say the E word.
You know what's coming out of my mouth.
Everton.
Come on. Under Frank. Who knows?
Everton is that
team.
I
swear to God, it's Everton. It's got to be Everton. That is his level.
Everton are that team. We've said this for years. So Everton are that team. If you're good, you're a good player, but you're not good enough, you're at Everton. But also...
You're linking up with Iwobi
and
Calvert-Lewin.
If you're crap, you're not good enough at Everton. You're lower. So there's respect there, but...
Everton fans are going to kill you.
Yeah.
Well,
listen, I hate Everton because what they've done to Chelsea over the last few years. They are our bogey side. We never win there. We won actually there this season. Let's just remind everyone.
Yeah, what a great game that was.
I cannot stand Everton. I'm going to put it out there.
I swear your favourite player was like Naismith.
Okay, enough of that. Lampard ball. Listen,
hold on. Going back to Sancho, yeah. For me, when United signed him, I was not convinced at all. No. I said to you from day one, he was going to be shit. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, he's not the player he was at Dortmund.
Agreed.
And I think everyone overhyped him.
Bundesliga tax though, man. That's it.
You can't say that for everyone. Look at Haaland.
True.
Look
at Timo Werner, mate. Absolutely slammed him in, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Bundesliga exists to...
Unless you move to Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, listen, Lampard ball. Listen, I say I hate Everton. I don't hate Everton totally because you've got an absolute legend there. He's probably bigger than the club. Frank Lampard.
Yeah. What? Right, rewind that.
Let's start again. Everton have got Frank Lampard in charge. Listen, I think, he's been a bit sus as a manager, hasn't he? Got Chelsea top 4. They scraped past relegation last season. What's the goal for Everton this season? Are they mid-table specialists?
Yeah. They're one of them teams. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a battle for top 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they stayed 10th, 12th, and you just didn't hear of them all season. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were in a doggy relegation scrap. They could be anywhere. Again, one of the most unpredictable teams for me. I think they're just... You never know what you're going to get as an Everton fan. So that's one thing to cheer about, potentially.
Is that disappointment, though, or is that...
It's more exciting.
Do you think?
Yeah, why not?
Let's leave it with that. Everton fans.
Why not?
Without killing me.
And they got my boy Rondon.
What do we think of that in the comments? Are you guys happy with mid-table, or do you want to do you want more? Do you want Europe? I mean, they probably do, right? It's a silly
Bearing
question.
in mind, you just by the skin of your teeth survived relegation last season.
What does it look like under Lampard? Let us know.
What
Be
does it look
interested to hear.
like? What are your ambitions this season?
Anyway, next game we got Brighton 0, Spurs 1. I don't know how the fuck Spurs won that. I've got to be honest. Again, the football was pretty crap, wasn't it? Let's be honest. I think they're probably the worst team to watch comfortably, and I'm not just saying that because it is Spurs.
Let's be real here. You're a Chelsea fan. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
We're about to talk about Spurs,
and we both hate them.
Yeah. Of course we do. Of course, but I don't want to just grill into them, blah, 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 this and that, because I do think...
They've got a world-class manager.
Look, there are some positives in what they're doing right now. And the main thing, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how crap you play, again, they got it over the line, they got the 3 points.
Yeah.
Which worries me a little bit, because this whole season, they've not been playing well.
No, they've scraped it, haven't they? I think...
And they're third in the league?
Yeah, they're third. They're ahead of us, so I can't say too much. I mean, they've got one of the best managers in world football, let's be honest, but he's very one-dimensional. That's the only negative. I'm interested to kind of gauge from you, what do you think the future looks like for Conte? If Spurs don't challenge, if they miss out on top 4, do you think he leaves?
Yeah, I'd imagine most people would think that he's not there for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly don't think so, unless he was really incredibly backed by Daniel Levy. But yeah, who knows? If I can imagine him getting a bit sick of Tottenham if he doesn't get the players he wants, and if they don't end up finishing 4th, I think he'll probably throw his toys out the pram a bit.
He's a serial winner, and he hates not winning. He hates coming second, third. It just bores him. That's why he goes to leagues where, I mean, I didn't expect him to win the league when he came to Chelsea, but he's brilliant at what he does. Yeah. But I do feel like everyone's worked out that formation with 5 at the back. Other teams play it, lower teams play it. I think it's very one-dimensional, and you can resist it so easily. I think it's probably the easiest formation to counter.
I'll be honest, if I go back on our last 2 games, we played Spurs and Liverpool. I think if Tottenham had been a bit braver and come out the way Liverpool did in the first half, I think you could be seeing a different result in that game, because the front 3, the ability of them, Kane, Son, Kulusevski,
I mean, they missed Kulusevski against you guys for sure.
Yeah,
he's a top.
And Richarlison, he just wasn't in that game. But the thing is, because they're so good, that front 3, I think Conte's happy for them to all sit back and just hit them on the break.
Just do their thing.
A bit like United,
you guys
but yeah, I mean, he needs to start being braver.
For sure.
You can get more out of that team, I think.
I'm going to keep you on that. Talking about being brave, a really great footballing team, Brighton, just lost Graham Potter. Without sounding biased, it is a massive loss because what he's done for them has been brilliant. But this De Zerbi's come in. First game at Anfield, they looked brilliant, but it was still maybe the sort of blueprint of what Potter had maybe left.
Yeah.
What do we think he's going to do? What do you know of him? What do you think? What you've seen so far?
Well, He's come from Serie A and he's done a bit of madness there.
That's Serie A, not Syria.
My bad. Yeah, so I think he's another young, exciting manager, man. I think Brighton's recruitment, whoever you need to snap out of their whole recruitment team,
yeah, for sure,
along with Potter, man, because they're recruiting just every guy you've never heard of. They'll bring him in and they're great. So whatever you're doing, Brighton, keep it up.
Yeah,
I think he'll do well. I think he'll do well with Brighton.
They're just great to watch, aren't they?
They've got the players that obviously he'll keep some of that blueprint under Potter because it was working so well. And I don't think he's too dissimilar in the way Potter imprints what he wants on his team. So they're not going to have to relearn everything, and it's not going to be a big shock to them.
It's looked good so far, for sure.
Yeah, so big things from Brighton.
Top half?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'd say out of all the teams, them and Newcastle, the dark horses, one of them will be the next team to break into the top 6.
Fab. Okay, I agree with you actually. I think I think you're on something there. I think for me, Welbeck.
That guy Welbs.
Good player.
He tries his heart, and he gets picked.
Listen, everyone loves a trier. God loves a trier, right? West Ham 3, Fulham 1. Where do we go with this one? Interesting game. I think for West Ham, they started the season not really at their best. Last couple of games, they've looked a lot better. I actually watch a lot of West Ham, to be fair. Yeah. There's a bit of a soft spot there for me.
What a rivalry that is.
No, I've always liked West Ham a little bit, and obviously some of it is kind of because it's close to home as well. So. But yeah, West Ham, are they back to top form?
Not yet.
No?
I think if you're saying top form, the form they were playing last season was incredible. And I think ever since getting knocked out to Frankfurt in that Europa League semi, I think they've had a major hangover since then. It's credit to David Moyes still, because what he achieved with them was incredible. But I feel like their fairy tale from last season and not getting that over the line, I think that really has hurt them.
Agree.
Obviously they've got ballers in there. You got Declan Rice. That Skamaka looks really good.
Yeah,
scored a lovely goal.
I was going to say he's banging them in now, Skamaka.
Yeah, great signing. My mate's a West Ham fan. Remember when they signed him? He was like,
well, they wanted Broja actually before.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting Skamaka, so I think...
I still think there's a great team in there.
Okay.
I think another team that should finish top half.
Another London team, Fulham. Obviously they lost that game. I've written in the questions, Fulham.
Got a lot of love for Fulham.
I said...
I'm sure he does too.
I don't mind Fulham.
Big rivals.
Yeah, huge rivals, huge. Fulham back.
A man like William's got there now.
I said Fulham, are they back to reality now in the Prem? They've had a couple of defeats. Newcastle battered them. They've lost to West Ham. Is it a case of them early season kind of results have kind of started to peter out, and are they going to slowly plummet down the table?
I think the form has gone a little bit, and they're not. I don't think the starts of their season that they had. I don't know if they'll be able to replicate it, but I do think they are good enough to still finish in the top half, or around mid-table.
Okay.
I don't think they'll be in a relegation battle. I think they're very underrated. Actually.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
What did you predict at the start of the season? Did you put them to go down?
I think I said that they'd be lingering.
Yeah.
Around.
I think when you have the quality of Mitrovic, I think has proven he can do it at the top level.
He's a top striker, isn't he?
He's such a handful.
I think Fulham they'll be struggling a little bit. They'll be struggling a little bit.
But I wouldn't, if I was a Fulham fan, I wouldn't be too worried. I think they have enough quality to survive. I like that they called over Reed.
Good player, one
for the future.
And obviously, they got, Arsenal's greatest ever right winger, Willian,
what can I say?
There you go.
Willie was it? An assist on his debut and never heard of again.
Wasn't it 3 assists on his debut? Or was it?
For us it was.
Yeah.
For Fulham, he got one of it.
This guy loves an assist on his debut.
If you just need a player for one game and then you can get rid of,
It's Willian.
Just sign it.
Yeah, he's the
Get
guy.
him on. Champions League final.
You know, in his debut,
and your right wing is injured.
His debut for Chelsea as
Bring
well. He
him in.
slammed him on from like 30 yards as well. It's class. Anyway, staying in London, so we've got Crystal Palace 2, Leeds 1. I think a lot of people think that Palace are doing better than they are. They're actually right down there when I looked at the table.
But I think that's because everyone loves the way that they play.
Yeah, they're great to
all
watch.
The young, exciting players they got. Eze,
a goal for Eze the other day.
Yeah. Great player, man. He will get snapped up by a top team at some point, I'm telling you.
I think he likes to change it, Vieira, a lot, doesn't he? He changes it up a lot. He doesn't ever seem to start the same players. Yeah. I've written in here, does he have a system? Because against Chelsea, he had like 5 attackers on the pitch.
Yeah,
which is, you know, okay, maybe that's an insult to us. Or maybe he just, that tactically thought that was the way to do it. Yeah. I mean, football-wise, they're great to watch, aren't they? Let's be honest, it's very entertaining.
They have a couple of top ballers in there.
Yeah.
Shout out to that, Joachim Anderson.
Good
He
player.
is a baller.
Good centre-back.
Baller.
Leeds,
don't sleep on him.
Leeds obviously lost the game, but I have been impressed with them in certain games actually this season, especially when they hammered us. I like that Jesse Marsh, so I think what I want to know from you is, do you think they've got a chance of staying up, and what does that look like for them this season?
Yeah, Leeds are a weird one for me. If I'm honest, I think they will struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I look at their team and obviously losing like their big boys in the summer, I think it's hurt them.
Rafinha's a miss as well.
And they've spent wildly in the summer on just players that haven't really replaced in terms of quality. Well, Calvin Phillips and Rafinha.
What's happened to Patrick Bamford? Why did they not play this guy? I know he's been injured, but...
Was he ever a thing?
Yeah, he was great. I thought he was class. And guess where he's come from?
Chelsea! Well, just shows he's not there anymore, is he? Must be great.
What a bloke, honestly.
I don't know. I'm not convinced with Leeds.
Okay.
I'm really not. I think they'll struggle.
No, fair enough. Oh, yeah, I'm undecided. They're good to watch, and I like
Jesse Marsh. I like.
You know.
I just don't know if they'll cut it.
Okay. Newcastle, Brentford. Newcastle won 5-1. I've been well impressed with them this season. Yeah. I really like watching Newcastle. Talking points of the game, Bruno Guimaraes, 2 goals. What do we think of him? What a player.
What a player. I have to say, I'm very jealous of Newcastle. We should have got him in Jan. Mm-hmm. It was us. They stole him from us. He's the guy that put in the man of the match performance to beat us that night, that fateful night that basically knocked us out of Champions League football for another year. And now I'd go as far as to say he's the best, probably the best player in the Premier League outside the top 6.
Cool, that's a big statement. Wow. Very big statement.
I think he's brilliant.
Better than Declan Rice.
Mitrovic.
That's some big players outside.
He's up there. He's up. I promise you. He is a baller.
Okay.
Watch it. He'll be playing in the World Cup.
Yeah, okay.
Playing, bro.
Big statement. What do you guys think? Is he the best player outside the top 6? If not, who is? Please comment below because we'd love to know.
So techie.
Brentford, what does the future look like for them? I've written down. They've lost the game 5-1. They've actually come off the back of a couple of defeats now.
We battered them 3-0 the other week.
Beat them 3-0 away. Yeah, they're a bit hit and miss. Tony scored again. I've said one of the questions I want to ask: will Tony make the World Cup?
He has to, for me.
Okay.
He really has to. I've been a massive fan of Tony. Mm-hmm. I think he's a great player, and he's probably something that gives England another option. But, I mean, let's be honest, he's really not getting minutes, is he? Whoever comes in as the backup striker in the World Cup.
Tammy Abraham wouldn't get minutes either.
You can't see Southgate taking off Kane. Like, it's not going to happen.
It's true.
Captain.
But what about?
But yeah, it'd be a good experience for him. But
what about for Brentford? What does their season look like?
Again, a little bit like Fulham, where they've just dropped off a little bit, maybe back down. They had some great results at the start of the season. Yeah, I really love the way they play. I think they're really aggressive, and they play without fear as well. I really do like it. That Thomas Frank's a very good manager for me, and I feel like he'll at some point move on to a bigger club.
Agree.
Yeah, I think they'll be comfortable this season. I don't really see them having issues of any relegation battles. I think they'll be comfortably mid-table, maybe even a top half finish if they hit good form.
Good points there. Staying on the subject of relegation battles, next game we're coming to is Bournemouth 2, Leicester 1. Big question for you, Yusuf. Are Leicester in a relegation battle?
Yeah.
They are. That's a serious statement. Won the FA Cup, what was it, 2 seasons ago? Constantly been in the battle for top 4.
The problem is their club is a mess. Absolute mess. They lost all their best players. Losing Fofana on basically deadline day as well.
Huge loss.
Massive loss. Actually, if they had got rid of Maddison, I'd tell him to start waving to the Championship right now, because
Jamie Vardy,
he's the one that's going to drag them.
Vardy
Madison,
as well, is just not.
Vardy's just, you know,
anymore.
he's
just
just,
now.
what is he, 36? Something like that. He's just dead now.
One problem for Leicester has been apparent, has been Schmeichel leaving, because this Danny Ward who's come in.
Danny Ward. Right, I want you guys to tell us, is Danny Ward the worst goalkeeper in Premier League history?
You're saying yes.
He's so bad, bro. Every game.
Bear in mind, there's been some shocking keepers.
I know, but every game, this guy, it's that goal against that he conceded to Bournemouth, the second goal. Oh my God.
That was comical.
He's honestly, every game I've seen him play this season, he's had a hand in a lot of the goals they've conceded. It's been his fault.
It's true.
He's so out of his depth. He reminds me of Runnison.
Let's give
2.0.
Let's flip the switch. Let's give Bournemouth some credit, because they beat Leicester. They came back. They were 1-0 down.
I thought Leicester would win that game.
Bournemouth are 8th, bizarrely. They're actually 8th in the league, which is really strange. I know we touched on it earlier on the episode, but 8th for Bournemouth. Like, they sacked Scott Parker 3 games in. Didn't they lose the opening 3? They got slapped by... Was it you? Yeah, you guys beat them.
We beat them 3-0. City beat them 4-0.
And Liverpool beat them 9-0.
9-0.
So they lost to 3 huge teams, and they sacked their manager, and now they're 8th.
What do you reckon? Juju? Drugs?
Witchcraft? Could be anything.
What are we saying? Are Bournemouth where they are on merit, or have they taken...
Listen, we've got to give them credit.
Substances?
You know, I know we're only in October, but as much as we give Arsenal credit, let's give Bournemouth credit.
They've done really well. I think not a lot of people would have expected them to be in this position right now. Yeah. Fair play to them, especially the first team to lose their manager this season. After Scott Parker being sacked, you're wondering, well, is it only going to go one way for them now? You'd think as well, I think the reason why he got sacked is because he fell out with the board over saying that this squad's not good enough and that he hasn't been back.
Spoke some home truths. You know, he wanted like, thing is, for me, he did brilliantly getting them up from the Championship. They didn't give him enough time. I think it's clear. Well, he can't complain too much.
Look how they're playing now. Look, they're not the fanciest team. They haven't got the most technical ability, Bournemouth, but what they'll give you, they'll graft. They'll work their arse off. And like we saw against Leicester, going 1-0 down, they had that work ethic to come back, and fair play to them.
It's very true. They've done very well.
As long as you got that, you'll always have a chance.
The next one I wanted to talk to you about, so it's a Monday night, and we've just found out with the result for Villa Forest.
Oh, the big one.
The one everyone was waiting for, right?
Right.
So you both won a Champions League.
That's very true.
Something that Arsenal don't have. But yeah, look, Villa Forest. What do you think the score was?
Villa Forest. Where is it at?
It was at Forest.
At Forest. I'm going 2-1 Forest, you know.
2-1 Forest. You were close. It was 1-1. Dennis scored for Forest and Ashley Young equalised.
Nice.
Are Forest, well, they spent a lot of money. Are they underperforming? Are Villa underperforming? They both?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't give Forest a chance when they came up.
Yeah.
I really didn't. I just thought they didn't...
Just renewed their manager's contract as well.
Yeah, brought in 20 odd players. I mean, what's that all about? Like, at least trust some of your team that have got you there. You know what I mean?
I think we need to have a conversation about Steven Gerrard as well, because that is just not working, is it? No. For whatever reason, Villa have spent money, and they've got a good side. They've got worse since Gerrard's come in. He's got
a worse record than Lampard, I think.
And he's got a worse record than Gary Neville had at Valencia. Why is he getting so much more time? Is it because he's a bit of a darling of the media? And obviously he's one of England's greatest ever players.
He's not English, he's Scouse. Remember that. I'm there for you.
That's going to go down horrendously.
Mate, I'm just... Come on. I'm there for you, Liverpool fans.
Listen, it's true, and he does have to have subtitles when he has a post-match interview. So
love him though. I
yeah,
love him.
great player, but he's not a great manager.
No,
it's not
better player than he was a manager.
Great,
that's for sure. He did so well with Rangers. I don't really know what's going wrong with
both teams. What can you expect from both teams?
Well, expects unpredictability.
So Forest, they're going to go down.
I put them in. As
Forest fans, sorry, I agree. I think
I'm
Forest.
sorry, I put Forest as bottom at the start of the season.
Aston Villa, surely they don't go down. They're too good, right?
Yeah, they shouldn't. Coutinho, Ollie Watkins,
Buendia,
Douglas
Luiz,
Tyrone Mings,
yeah, ballers. Emi Martinez in goal.
Jacob Ramsey,
yeah, they've got a very good team. Matty Cash, great player.
Yeah, that squad's. I mean, they're too good for how they're performing.
Dinya at left back.
Yeah,
they've got a really good side.
Very good team, and I think Gerrard's on borrowed time at the moment.
For sure. Well, that sort of wraps up the games. We're going to come to something that we're going to do weekly, and that is going to be controversial opinion.
Dun, dun, dun. Who we?
Controversial opinion of the week. We're both going to say a controversial opinion that we think is going to manifest this season. Some of you might think we're idiots. Some of you might agree.
But it's controversial, so...
And that's what the word controversial is, right? So, Yusuf, we're going to start with you. Controversial opinion of the week. What is yours going to be?
Right. See, listen here, Liverpool fans. No, you've been slated, but I want to give you a bit of hope here. I know everyone's slating them right now, but I think Liverpool will still finish top 4 at the end of the season.
Big statement.
I know they're 14 points behind us and about 10 off City, maybe more. 13, they're 13 off City, but I think their squad is still too good elite, right? To not be playing Europa League football.
Okay. Do you want to know mine?
Yeah, go on.
We're staying with Liverpool. A lot of people aren't going to like this, and I may look like an idiot for saying this, but a lot of people talk about how Trent is at fault for all things going wrong at Liverpool at the moment.
Go on.
My honest opinion is I think that Van Dijk has fallen off a cliff. I think he's done at that top level. I think I've seen enough this season. I've seen him get roasted. I saw him roasted against United. I've seen him roasted in Europe against Napoli. Like, for me, this guy, they were talking about having a bigger legacy than the likes of Terry, Ferdinand, company. No chance. Great player, was at the top for a while, but you have to do it consistently, for some time, and he's not doing that right now. So I think this will be one of the last seasons that we talk about Van Dijk.
Wow. Very, very controversial.
But that's what it's for. Yeah, fight me.
I think you're wrong.
Well, I think I'm right.
Mate,
End of episode.
I'll be honest. What you said about Van Dijk, legacy, you can't touch the legacy. Mate, he's won everything. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, Club World Cup, everything, bro. Mm-hmm. For me, that period of dominance where he was by far the best centre-back in world football, I remember that COVID season, had all those stars playing at the top and midfield for Liverpool. But I'd want to watch Liverpool because I was actually excited about Van Dijk as a centre-back. I can't ever remember turning on the TV to watch a game because I wanted to watch.
Must have been bad.
Because I wanted to watch a centre-back. That's how good he was. I know everyone else was doing amazing, but this guy, for me, at the very, very peak of his game, I think he's one of the best.
Well, let me tell you something. So, yeah, he's won it all, but they've only won one league. They've won one FA Cup, one League Cup.
Still done it.
One Champions League.
Still done it.
In a period of dominance. So that's this period of dominance that Liverpool have had since 2016. Guess what? Chelsea, I know you shouldn't talk about Chelsea because they're my team, but they've won the exact amount of same trophies that Liverpool have.
I get that.
So, but no one in that Chelsea.
Remember where you need the context though, because where Liverpool were before they became this super team, they were where we were a few seasons ago. We were 8th. They were struggling 8th, 10th, 12th. I remember them losing at home to Blackpool in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's true.
They were absolutely awful. You were always always around there.
Yeah, I'll give you that, and I'll agree.
Van Dijk was a major part of that.
But I will say, you cannot put Van Dijk in the bracket of the companies, Terry's, Ferdinand's, Vidic's, in my opinion. Tony Adams. I think
the only thing that where you're saying he's not at their level is probably the longevity. But in terms of everything they've achieved, he's up there with all of them. You can't say he hasn't because he's won it all. So was John Terry. Company never won the Champions League. Okay, but when you're talking in terms of how influential they were...
Aspilicueta's been very influential.
Yeah, but he ain't as good as Van Dijk, let's be real.
Bro, he's been amazing for us.
This guy, man. Just cut it now.
Okay,
bro.
all right. Well, listen, that's my opinion. I might be I've said it because it may be wrong, you know. And I want it. This is the show. We want to put things out there that.
Yeah.
I'm
not
throwing
the bait out.
I'm not reaching. I'm not at all. I like Van Dijk. I think he's been a top player for some time. I agree, but I think this is coming to the end.
Interesting. Where could you see him next? Everton.
No
Who
chance.
knows?
No chance. He's better than Everton.
Okay.
Right, so finally, guys, to wrap up the show, we are going to do a weekly set of predictions where we will predict the upcoming weekend fixtures and see how we both get on. We will then tally our scores up to see who was right, and we'll have a bit of a leaderboard going on, see who's most correct.
It's going to go very wrong.
Let's start with Brentford versus Brighton. At Brentford.
Oh, that's a tough one to kick it off. I'll go 2-2.
2-2.
I think that'll be a great game. A lot of goals.
A lot of good football, hopefully. Okay.
I think Brentford will salvage something from that.
I'm going to go a Brighton away win. I'm going to say 2-1 Brighton.
Okay.
Brighton, I think, they're so hard to beat, aren't they? Great football. Yeah. I think they're a techier team than Brentford. I think they'll just nick it. Fair. Moving on to Saturday, we've got Leicester against Palace. Huge game for both teams. Both need the points at Leicester, at the King Power.
I can see Leicester actually winning this.
Okay.
I think it'll be a 1-0 Leicester.
1-0 Leicester.
1-0. I'm backing you, boys.
I'm going to say it's going to be a draw. Both teams can't afford to lose. I think this will end up 1-0.
1-0.
Then we're looking at Fulham Bournemouth. Again, good game at Craven Cottage.
Fulham Bournemouth.
Bournemouth
Okay.
above Fulham, remember?
Yeah.
Some good form.
Wow. I'm going to back Fulham to come back.
Okay.
Get back on track with this.
What are you saying?
I'll go 2-0 for them.
2-0. I'm going to actually say 2-1. I think Bournemouth will score. I think Fulham will win as well. I agree with that. Moving on to the next game, we've got Wolves against Forest. Another good game at Wolves.
Okay.
Again,
these are
tight games. All need points.
Yeah, again, I think this will be a game Wolves will look at and really want to bounce back. So I'll go 3-1 Wolves.
3-1 Wolves. Lots of goals in that. Again, I think...
I know they're not known for scoring,
no,
I feel like this could be a bit of a...
I think this could be a draw, actually. I think I'm going to say 0-0 for this. Don't think there'll be any goals in this.
Fair, yeah.
And then we got our favourite ground, Shite Hart Lane, Spurs versus Everton. What do we think? Tottenham at home.
Yeah, I think Everton will roll over for it.
Should be a home banker, usually is.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 Spurs.
I'm going to say 3-1 Spurs, actually. Now, moving on to Super Sunday. Big games on this Sunday, actually. Kicking off at Villa Park. Villa versus Chelsea.
Oh.
Never an easy ground for us to go.
No.
Won there last season. I think Gerrard actually missed that game through COVID because they had their assistant on the sideline. Yeah. Who do you think is going to get the result there?
Well, could Gerrard get his managerial career back on track? The answer is no, as they'll lose 2-1 to Chelsea.
I think, I agree. I think Chelsea will win, but I think it'll be 2-0. I can't see Villa scoring. Fair. And then we have Leeds Arsenal at Leeds at Ellen Road.
I mean, it should be a banker. Leeds have not been great.
Gut feeling?
Don't hold that many fingers up on me, Harry.
Is it a case of how many, or will this be banana skin?
The first number that came to my head was 3, so I think we'll win 3-0.
3-0?
I think it'll be...
I'm going to say 1-0. Controversial. I think Arsenal are going to drop
We had our segment earlier, controversial point of the week. 1-0, you know. After beating Spurs and Liverpool, imagine.
Well,
I can see that happening, you know.
Let's see.
I can see it.
And then we got
Score last season?
What, at Leeds? It was like 4.
Yeah, you battered them last season.
4-1, something like
We've
that.
got another huge game on this Sunday. Actually, it's Man United at home to Newcastle. One I look forward.
That's
to
a big
watching.
one. Big one.
At Old Trafford. What do we think?
That could be a really good game.
Newcastle playing some really good football at the moment. United still getting results, but
I think the pressure will probably get to Newcastle. I know they were brilliant at Anfield and deserved something from the game, but I think the way United will, I think there'll be too much for them on the counter.
What do we reckon?
I'll go 2-1 United. Okay. Just.
I'm actually going to go.
Great game.
I'm going to go with a Newcastle win. I think Newcastle are going to nick this 2-1.
I hope so.
Just.
We'll see.
Next, we've got Southampton at home to West Ham. Big game. Yeah. At Southampton, what do we think?
On the bank on a West Ham win here. I think they'll win 3-1.
3-1? Okay, I'm going to go 1-1.
I'll bank on Skamaka to score.
Southampton, West Ham, I'm going to go for a draw.
Yeah.
Southampton can't afford to lose any more games. And then, well, we have to say probably the biggest game of the weekend. Liverpool at home to Man City.
Ooh!
Will Liverpool bounce back? Will Van Dijk lose his first game at Anfield ever?
Wow.
Will Man City roll them over? How many will Haaland score?
It's a massive game.
Huge game.
Huge.
What do we think?
Liverpool need this.
They need it to kickstart their season. If they lose this,
it's game over.
Season over.
This is their season decider.
Yeah.
This is it. If they lose this, there's no going back.
Score prediction?
You know what? I want Liverpool to win, and I think they will. I'll back them. I will back them at Anfield.
What are we saying?
2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. You heard it here first from the man himself.
What?
I completely disagree. I think City are going to roll them over. I think it'll be 3-1 City.
It's a hard place to win, Anfield.
No, it is.
No one's known for years.
3-1
at Anfield. I think Man City are going to roll them over. They're going to put them in.
I think the fans will be so.
It's a huge game, but I think Man City.
I think Klopp will he'll have them in the dressing room like, if you don't fucking win this game, like I
will take my glasses off and I'll take my teeth out and.
I'm looking at you, Trent.
Help!
Yeah.
No.
I'll back it. I'll go Liverpool.
Okay.
Because why not?
Why not?
That's why we're here, to talk shit.
Absolutely. Well, that's the games. Thank you, Yusuf, for today.
Absolute pleasure.
What a lovely chat that was.
Nice little
Two brothers.
introduction.
That's why we're two brothers.
We are two brothers. And
Okay.
thank you, my great people, for watching us.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Most importantly, if you've sat through this.
If you've got to this point, you're a star. You're a legend.
You're already just exactly.
You're up there
what
in
I
my
want.
books.
Yeah. So what I want you to do as a favour is just give it a like. Give it a share. Leave comments. Listen, this video, slate us. If you hate us, tell us.
Hate us, slate
That's
us,
what we wanna know.
debate us.
Like, although I know it sounds cringy, but like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, it will all help. We're going to be making content regularly. It's all going to be football. We're going to be talking shit.
I mean, only if you feel like it. If you want to do it, that's fine. That's great.
No, they have to do it. That's part of it. That's the two brothers unwritten rule.
I'm the other brother, the one that's calm.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's.
We said we weren't brothers.
Oh, no.
We're two brothers.
Okay.
We're just two brothers.
We're not brothers.
Thanks for tuning in. It's been two brothers.